Greetings and salutations and welcome to another edition of the YouTube channel Too Many Plugins. I'm your host Alex. Today we're gonna play a little bit over here. What's the one we have first over there? Today we're gonna play a little bit Battlefield 1 on a lower resolution, 720p 1366 by 768 on an overclock over here on the FX8300 and the Amd Firepro W600 with 2 GB of GDDR5 overclocked to 4400 MHz and 850 on the core. And
we have taken objective Freddy.
A little bit lower resolution, but we maintain a much higher frame rate with this graphics cards. When you start running in 1600 by 900, it's playable, but it becomes a little bit choppy. So over here we're still in a low resolution, but we'll maintain a steady 60 like this.
We have taken objective Edward.
Hedefi ele geçirin.
So just to see how this runs, and it's not such a big difference going from 600 by 900 to 720p 1366 by 768. The difference is really not that big in fidelity. Of course, we're still running in low, but I'm sure that it could go here already to medium settings. We are now running low in this moment, but probably that would be possible to go to medium settings. But I'm trying here to get the highest frame rate, at least without... so yeah, the highest frame rate in this moment that I can achieve on the lowest settings. And of course, if you start to putting this a little bit bigger, you get a little bit less this kind of stuff that you see going on over here, you know. Which is really a typical example of low quality settings. So there you go. This is, by the way, a map I don't enjoy at all. Sinai Desert. I really don't enjoy this map. Two big parts where you are just running way too far before you get somewhere, you know. I don't like that. Man, I don't know how he survived that. But that's partially a little bit the highest frame rate I can get. I don't have here any monitoring kind of things, but you're running it in 720p on YouTube anyway. So you're not gonna run this on 1600 by 900 because YouTube basically it doesn't really have that middle position. I think it's 720p, then it's 1080p, and then it's 40p. You know, so you know. There's not really such a point when I'm, for example, recording and streaming this to YouTube to have 1600 by 900, you know. Oh, wrong airplane. Yeah, I'm going a little bit to get airplanes first out of the sky. Yeah, so there you go. You know, you can, by the way, many times get good points when you start shooting fighters out of the air. Yeah, but this is way better. I was running it in 600 by 900 and it was really choppy. And especially when I started also then recording in OBS. Now OBS, when I'm using the hardware encoders, so the NVEC dedicated encoders, then it has almost virtually no load on the GPU, but it still steals probably about 250 to 300 megabytes, so a quarter of a gigabytes of memory it will still steal, you know. So there you go, you know.
Hedef şu. Ele geçirin. Bomba gidiyor.
Yeah, and it's just this card is just way more suited for 720p. It really is, you know. Yeah. Thanks for trying to save me anyway. So yeah, it's also recommended you look in most sites for biases and video cards and stuff like that, and specifications. Then they mention that it's more like a 720p card, you know, 1366 by 768 kind of card, you know. Yeah, nice accident was it, and the guy just ran out. That was really dumb of mine. But anyway, a little bit distracted over here talking, you know. So yeah, that's a little bit the story with this card. And of course there are some games, I mean, you need to face it also. Battlefield is a very good optimized game, but it is a graphical heavy game, you know. So there's many games I've tried. Need for Speed also on 1600 by 900, and it runs really good, you know. You could probably even run it in 1080p, you know. So, you know, there's always that, you know.
Şu Allah'ın belası hedefi ele geçirin.
So, you know, that's just a little bit the thing, you know. The motherfucker's over there, you know. I saw his flashlight over there. So, but just as a general test, yeah, it's nice to do. I got something strange now here on this PC also. Even in the weekend, I have another PC also with Horizon, and there I find many servers with people online. In this PC, I find a lot of servers, but nobody's almost playing. I don't know if that's just all of a sudden a dip in users, you know, you know, because there's sales everywhere, so you would expect that we have, you know, a bigger amount of people now playing Battlefield 1, you know, because it was about 3 weeks ago or a month ago in the sales, and now it's again in the sales until the 27th. So if you still want to get your Battlefield collection for very little money, you can literally get the Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 for €2 a pop, so, you know.
We have lost objective fire.
Oh my god, airplane. And you can also get Battlefield Hardline for €1, and you can get some Need for Speeds already starting from €1.50, Need for Speed Rivals, that I bought a couple of weeks ago for €2. It's a great game. You can get a Hot Pursuit remastered for about €4.50. You can get 2015 for €2, so, you know, you can for 10 or 20 bucks you can get all the copies of Battlefield that are still not delisted, and you can get a couple of, you know, for another tenner you can get even a copy of Need for Speed or Titanfall for $2, you know. And a couple of Need for Speed starting from 150, between, you know, 150. The other ones are like €2. That's 2015, and I think Heat you can also get for €5 or €6 each, you know. So, you know, so amazing for me how in the moment you in this game ride on a horse, you are all of a sudden bulletproof. It's really weird. Yeah. So you can get for a tenner, you can get all the copies besides Battlefield 2142 that I don't touch with a 10-foot pole, because that game absolutely sucks. That's not Battlefield. That is Fortnite meets Candy Crush or something, and a very empty game. It has nothing to do with Battlefield. There are no classes in there, just specialists. All sorts of features are removed. It is a dreadful game, so
Şu hedefi ele geçirin.
I'm a little bit distracted also talking. I'm not even here really doing a good job controlling my squad.
Bomba atıyorum. Kafanıza dikkat edin.
So there you go.
Dikkat edin.
My God, there he was, you know. So yeah, for a tenner you can get all the copies of Battlefield, and maybe for another tenner or minimum one copy of some Need for Speed game, you know. These are all the games, folks. I'm not into new games. I got a collection of new games. Many of them even received for free on Epic Store. But I myself look more for games that are from the year 2000 up to and especially between 2006 going up to 2018, 19, 20. There are after that some games still that are worth it, but the majority of it is already with the DEI stuff in it, and race swapping and female empowerment and LGBTQ craziness in it, that I don't touch those games. Forget about it. Games are uninspired. They're made by people that are more busy pushing their political propaganda into our media than actually just produce good games. And many of them don't even know how to make good games, to be very honest, So, man. So yeah, there are a couple of games. I mean, that are still really nice that came out later, But in general, for me, it's the games until 2020. After that, it started all being with political messaging going on and pushing agendas. And nah, not for me. Woke garbage. No, that's not for me. I'm coming to escape reality. I don't want to have current dayism in my movies and in my video games. I'm looking for fantasies and for other realities. So for me it is...
Hedefin savunulması lazım.
Sorry.
Hedefin müdafaa edin.
For me, I'm not interested in that, I come to play video games. I think we have actually here probably really a steady 60 going on over here in low resolutions. I don't have any... besides the FX always having little micro stutters because of the 1% lows in the frame times that are always a little bit higher on the FX, But in general, I have here a good experience, and I think I'm hitting here a solid 60, So there you go.
We've taken objective George.
Yeah, so I'm not interested in modern games. There are some that are good. There are some that I enjoyed. I enjoyed Shadow Warrior 3, I think it was. I enjoyed, of course, Doom Eternal when it came out in 2020. Enjoyed it a lot also. I enjoyed, but it was already a little bit older, is Hell Let Loose. A nice game. Enjoyed it a lot. There are a bunch of games that are still worth it, that are rather new. But in general, no. I'm not really interested. I liked also what's the name of that? The medieval games that I enjoy very much. Also, sort of simulators are those that I also enjoy. Oh my God, man! I lost them all of a sudden. That is Chivalry is one of them, and there's another one, Don Who, something like that. There are medieval simulators that I enjoy, also, but also a little bit older, They're a little bit of how do you call that? Live service games there actually, but they play in the medieval era. Enjoy those games, but the rest of it, I'm just totally not interested, to be very honest. I have even a whole load of games, quite recent. some are not even half a year or a year old. And Epic also. Epic keeps on giving games. I have so many games also to play from Epic still. But I'm gonna be very honest with you. Many of them I play and I get very disappointed. By the way, also I'm not an RPG person. I don't go really for that. I like action games and fast games, racing games, tactical military shooters, stuff like that. I enjoy and FPS. You know, so. Yeah, but we have here a solid 60. I can really tell you this. This is a solid 60, and I can most likely go even to medium settings over here. Yeah, but that's the kind of games that I enjoy. There's also some real-time strategy games that I like. There's still a very old one that I play. That is World in Conflict. I think that's a very good real-time strategy game. I really enjoy it. I have it on what's that? The Ubisoft launcher. It's a game that's very good. I enjoy. Of course, I enjoy the old Unreals. I enjoy the old Painkiller. It's a game that I actually really enjoy. So yeah, those kind of games, you know. When yeah, and many games from 2005 up to 2019-20 are games that I enjoy. But most of the stuff that came afterwards out, I didn't enjoy it at all, to be very honest. Bunch of Japanese games are nice also. There's some stuff coming out of Japan that I actually enjoy. What's the other one called? I think it's Ghostwire Tokyo. I think is one that I enjoyed also. And then I have the second one of that also, of Ghostwire Tokyo, that I really enjoyed.
We have taken objective down.
Yeah, that one enjoyed also. I think it was Ghostwire Tokyo. That one I actually enjoyed. But the rest of it, man, most of it I really don't enjoy. The modern gaming that they started creating all these safe zones and starting to put political messages in it and stuff like that. And not just that, also games that are extremely bad optimized, bad programming. They seem like people have lost the spirit or something, or the same people that used to a decade ago make video games, you know, that they all just left or something, and today we have just a crew of activists with blue hair and nose rings that only know how to use the Unreal editor or something. You know, I don't know what it is, you know, but you know, it's all that kind of stuff, you know, just bullshit going on, you know. Also interesting how he survived that. You know, I'm just not interested in it, to be very honest. So, by the way, a map I don't enjoy at all. This map, I really don't enjoy this map. I never did. This is for me one of the. I know many people enjoy it, but I don't like these desert maps in Battlefield 1. I really don't. Now I'm being shot by a tank from the back. Oh my god. Yeah. So actually also check if we are really in low graphics still, but I think we are. Yeah, so that's a little bit thing, you know. Modern games are uninspiring, bad optimization, therapy simulators. They're dreadful, to be very honest. Modern gaming is really dreadful. Woke cringe dialogues, it is dreadful. All sorts of activism in there, you know. You get even like neo-Marxist messaging going on in it, and activism and stuff in the video games. It is absolutely dreadful. Yeah, so it's really a shame, you know. The world of gaming really changed. Okay, those ones we have already. Let me see what else do we need to get then over. We need to go to
geçirin.
really distracted by talking also. Yeah, I think it's really a shame where the video game industry went to. And also see the budgets today, they make all these woke video games with transgender characters in it and all sorts of stuff like that, and gay scenes, and then they cost 350 million, you know, and they're uninspired trash, you know, and people don't buy it, you know, and then they get amazed, you know, that they're bloody games. Nobody wants to buy them. And if you look even at games, you know, the old Battlefields, you look to games a decade ago, you know, the AAA. These games, they were produced for probably one third or the quarter. I mean, you had the games in that time that were produced for 60 million and 80 million and stuff, you know. And now you have games that come out and it costs 350 million and stuff, and 200 million and 100 million, you know, and they're trash. Nobody's buying them.
We have lost objective A.
Yeah, nobody's buying them, man.
Hedefi zapt ettiler.
I think that was me who did that. Sorry, I think I just blew up the tank. I don't know. Yeah, so and that's what you see also, you know, and it is now became such a, how do you call it? Okay then, straight on my head, you know. I mean, the video game industry, it was always, of course, a multi-billion-dollar industry, you know. But now it is an industry that's on the stocks, and they have investors, and they want to make live service slop, you know, games where you keep on being engaged, but you are always.
Hedefi zapt edin.
My God, where am I? You know, where you are, you need to be engaged, but you need to always keep on spending money and microtransactions and battle passes, and to keep you hooked on the games, you know, with all sorts of mechanics in it to keep you from engaging but spending money and making everything difficult and put everything behind a paywall, you know. And because we are today into that kind of you know, we are now oh, that one is ours. You know, we are now in that that kind of
We have lost objective butter.
of a society, you know,
We have taken objective Duff.
where everything is to please the investors, and to please the investors is today not about making good games anymore, you know. It is about keeping you as long as engaged, so you spend the most money, so they don't want the game that you buy and you just have some fun and you play it for a couple of months and you move on. No, they don't want it anymore. They want their games where they have you hooked for years, buying all sorts of micro transactions and skins and season passes and all sorts of mechanics, even to make for you to need to grind for hours and days to get something, or you can just buy it, you know, instead of spending weeks to unlock something, you know. And it is absolutely dreadful, man. It's dreadful.
Derhal hedefi ele geçirin.
It's dreadful. And that is what modern gaming goes about. And then also virtue signaling and having all sorts of political messaging in it. And, you know, modern liberal messaging in RPG games and stuff. And it is absolutely dreadful, to be very honest. It's dreadful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is dreadful, and that is the problem with modern gaming, you know. And it's the investors. It is all about. It's not about inspiration anymore. It's just like, hey man, let us do what Fortnite does, and stick our own ideology in there and our own personas in there instead of putting in there what most gamers like. Uglify the women, race swap males for females, have female black Nazi soldiers in World War II games, like Battlefield 5 already did a little bit. They went also in the wrong direction. Women with bionic arms, that's why we call it Battlefield Vagina, you know, because it is totally girl empowering and just weird, you know. I mean, Second World War, Nazi Germany having black female soldiers and black male soldiers in Nazi Germany, you know. It's again that kind of a diversity that shouldn't belong there, you know. It's all that kind of stuff. To don't even talk about the Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and all these games, Avowed and stuff, which has pure transgenderism in it and stuff. It is absolutely dreadful, man. You know, this whole industry is taken over by a bunch of fucking woke activists, you know. That and then CEOs who never even play games, you know, and yeah, the whole industry, and then also, of course, you know, organizations like USAID who are investing money in the media and in the video game industry, you know, to push all sorts of ideologies down people's throats, you know. You know. And change public perspective and the public opinion, and through media change people's mind about certain ideologies and certain political intentions, you know, and that's what it's today all about, you know. So there you go. You know, and they even want you then to literally sell you propaganda. They even want to charge you $70 for it, and some are even already talking about $100 for games. And then you have these games also today, which is also totally dreadful, you know, where you have then a special edition with some skins, and then with 3 or 4 days early access and all sorts of garbage like that, and then a soundtrack or something, and then you pay not even 70, you pay 130 for those kind of games, and it's absolutely dreadful, you know. But there you go, you know, that is modern gaming, you know. $70 for video games. I mean, and there are some games that you keep on playing, you know, like for example Battlefield. I have in Battlefield already hundreds and hundreds of hours in every copy that I bought of a Battlefield. And then even so, I think €70 is way too much, you know. And then games, and you get then a bunch of skins and 3 days early access and a soundtrack or something for 130, you know, and a season pass, you know. I mean, you know, $130 for a video game. You guys are completely crazy, you know. You know, call me then crazy or something, but for $70 you can already buy, you know, some, how do you call that? You can already buy an entry-level CPU for that kind of money, you know. And 130, you know, you can buy a CPU and some memory and a solid-state drive, an SSD, you know. And probably even keep some money still in your pocket to buy a cheap keyboard and a mouse combo or something, you know. And that's what they want to ask you for a video game with early access, a bunch of skins with it, you know, and a 1-year season pass for $130, you know. It's completely crazy, you know that, you know. Oh, misclicked on that. You know, it's just, you know. Yeah, inflation and stuff like that, but it's all a bunch of bullshit also, because in the old times they needed to you bought a game for 50 or 60 euros, but there was a little bit different in that time, because in that time they needed to make the game, and the game was made for way less money. Yes, it was, you know. But you had other issues in that time with video games. It was the fact that they needed to make a disc, design a booklet, put a case around it, distribute it, and then the shop where the game was being sold needed also to make money on it still, and then you came to $50 or $60, you know, and there was a time it was even cheaper than that, you know, and today everything is digital. They don't need to produce a game anymore, the physical disc, the booklet, and the actual, how do you call it, case around it, you know, so there you go, you know. Just here, just walking around a little bit to have some time that I can just be talking, you know, and you know, it's that, you know. So today they have way less cost, and instead of always spending straight 200 or 300 or 350, and some of the games are even crazy. Skull and Bones costed 800 million, you know. Concord, that woke game, costed what was it, 400 million or something. Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League costed that was a loss for, who was it, Warner Brothers. They lost, man, I couldn't even see. Warner Brothers lost 200 million on it, you know. And then it's all games that they go only for the graphics, and everything today is about the graphics. So they used to make in the old times a game for 20,000 or something, you know. Then you know, sorry, 20 million or 40 million, you know. And now they spend 200, 300, 400 million, and it's all because of the graphics. But
Tahrip cephaneleri hazır.
We have lost objective butter.
you know, and the graphics really don't matter so much, you know. I'm, by the way, very distracted talking and playing at the same time. But, you know, it's all about the graphics today. And the games are shitty made, you know. And the only people care about is not a story or... no, they call about the graphics, you know. I need to have good graphics. You know, and if you look to older games, you know, yeah, the graphics were a little bit, there was a little bit less fidelity in it, you know, but they weren't also ridiculous, because the problem with the modern game is they cost so much, they're poorly optimized, and they all have crazy, I mean, I cannot even believe that, you know. I think that the modern Call of Duties, the war zones, and Black Ops 6, I think are, like, if you install them, that's like 250 gigabytes.
We are losing objective.
And if you then look to games of a decade ago, many of them look really good. You know, they look almost as good, yeah, a little bit less, but they are 40 gigabytes or 50, or some are even 10 or 20. You know, but you get 40 or 50, you get with games not even a decade ago, and they have a little bit less fidelity, but it's really not that much, you know. And so you see that it's all because of the graphics and stuff, and bad optimization, and you turn out with a game that costs you 70 to 130 bucks to basically run a game that is gonna completely eat your storage. You know, you have one game, you're losing already 250 gigabytes. I think only the installer already for the live play of Call of Duty, Black Ops, and of Warzone, it have already an online sort of little plug-in thing. Sort of a launcher, then only that launcher is already like 80 gigabytes or something. It's completely nuts, man. It's so bad optimized, all of it, you know. And you know, and that's modern gaming, you know. Bad optimized stuff.
We have lost objective Charlie.
Yeah, it's all bad optimized stuff. And that's basically it.
Ele getirin.
So you just have bad optimized games, uninspired garbage. All looking the same, it's all the Unreal Engine. All these modern games, they have a purplish, greenish look on it. Made for the modern audience, with gay scenes in it, and it's dreadful. It is really dreadful. It's dreadful. It's dreadful. But that's modern gaming in a nutshell. So you can even pick up your old games. There's several advantages for it. First of all, you don't need stupidly expensive hardware. That's also a story of the hardware. I mean, you know, graphics cards, the higher end ones that cost $2,000 and shit. And then you want the mid-range. It's excuse me, $600-700 for a video card. It's completely nuts, man. It's completely nuts, you know. And then the high end, you have just a graphics card that costs $2,000 and stuff, and $3,000. Yeah, it's completely nuts, man. To play some video games in higher graphics, man. Come on, man.
We are losing objective butter.
Hedefin savunulması lazım.
Yeah, it's dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Yeah, I couldn't save that, you know. But yeah, but that's what it is, you know. That's modern gaming, you know. And you can better buy some older games, a little bit older games. Games that are also not AAA quality, or they're AAA quality, but they're in the sales and they're a little bit older. You don't need stupid hardware for it. Very expensive graphics cards and processors and storage. So you can just to run it basically on a potato, you know. The games are way cheaper because they're older, so you can find them in sales for absolutely nothing.
We have taken objective butter.
My God, you know, and you know, it's that, you know. So you can much better even go for a little bit older games. And also for indies, man. You have fantastic indie titles. You have fantastic AA games, you know, not just the AAA. There's lots of AA games that are fantastic, you know. And many of those ones also, many times, you don't need crazy hardware for it, you know.
Halfway there, the enemy
So,
has the upper hand.
where was he? The optical. So, all in all, you know, you can pick up older PCs that are, you know, an older graphics card like I'm running here. This is then the AMD FX8 CPU. And then the Firepro W600 that you can play older games with quite okay graphics, as you can see here. I can tell you over here, this is just running on a solid 60. I don't see any drops in frames whatsoever. I could probably even go here to minimum. By the way, a little bit an overclock over here.
We are losing objective butter.
Yeah, he jumped away from my grenade. Yeah, really distracted by talking at the same time. But you know, for less money you can play a little bit older games. And most of the older games are even better anyway, so, you know. There's so many reasons actually, and this is why also the gaming market is completely imploding, you know, because, you know, these organizations were for a very long time, they were... Oh my God, man, you saw that or not? The guy was, I don't know if this guy died next to him, because I saw the guy and all of a sudden something happened and it was all of a sudden one standing straight behind him, you know. So there you go.
We have taken objective George.
Let's go B.
Hedefin müdafası zaruri.
You know, so there's just not modern gaming. There is not much. Man.
We have taken objective Freddy.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I'm gonna go away.
Infiltrator kit is available in your location.
Bomba atıyorum. Çabuk olun. Haydi bile. Düşman taarruzu. Buraya.
Can I go over here? What the hell was that?
We have taken objective Duff.
Tamamdır.
Man. Was I saw a guy walking over here in the back. I don't know where he went, but... Oh, there he is. Yeah, I was really distracted. So, you know, if you look at a lot of games, you just need to wonder yourself, why? Why do people spend that kind of money, you know? For modern slop, it's literally slop, that's what it is. It is absolutely slop. Uninspired, just the only inspiration in there is let's make that other thing that other people make, that they had a lot of success with, and we'll do that, and we're gonna have a great game automatically because the other ones do it, and so therefore we are gonna do it also, and it's gonna just work out, and everything is gonna be great, and we're gonna make a lot of money for the investors. While we actually don't have any idea whatsoever about what to actually make, you know. Yeah, we're gonna make it for what is trendy now on Reddit and on TikTok, and the progressive Gen Z is talking about in their social media, you know. And then they forget that that is actually not people who buy video games, you know. They put female stuff in there, you know, and they forget that the majority of people that play on PC and on console, you know, are male, you know. The only ones, the gaming is big for females, but that is more on mobile, you know, on little games like that, you know. So there you go, you know. But they make this then for the modern audience, you know. Oh. And there you go. And let's make that thing that that looks a little bit like that other thing that was very successful, preferably live service, so we can keep on making money. Holy moly.
We have taken objective Charlie.
You know, and that's basically what it is today, you know. Oh. And then they also many times don't remember, you know, that they just like, let's do what Destiny did, or let's do what Fortnite does, you know, the creators of Unreal Engine and of Unreal Tournament, you know. And then they think, well, we're just gonna do that, you know, not forgetting that to create a live service game, you know, like that, you know. You need a lot of experience, you know. It's first of all always online, you know, multiplayer game, and you know, and then there's also something that I also see lately in the video game industry, you know. The market is extremely saturated, you know. People have only a certain amount of free time in their life to be spending on games that take many hours and a long dedication to keep on playing, you know. And the problem is that, you know, go see. You know, and you know, they just think we'll make also that live service game thing looking like Fortnite, and we'll have a lot of money, and everything will be fine, you know. And that's just not the way it works, you know. But they absolutely think that, you know. They think we'll just do that other thing. We have no experience whatsoever. Actually, we used to make single-player games. Now we're gonna make some multiplayer live service game. We're gonna make it the same as those guys from Destiny or from Fortnite or something, you know, or Apex Legends, and And that's where you get also all these games that all look alike, because they're all just with the Unreal Engine just trying to copy each other, you know. And that's also a problem, you know. So yeah, we got this here, by the way. You know, and this is just the problem, you know, with modern gaming. You know, it's all this kind of mentality, you know, not even having a good formula. No, it's just like, let's do that other thing that the other one does, you know. Let's do that other thing that the other one does, and we'll make millions, you know. Ah, it was just a leaf, man. I saw somebody walking, but it was just a leaf of the tree. You know, it's that, you know. And so there's also no inspiration. It's because you get just these bozos that...
we are losing objective Freddy.
That just copy and paste everything that others do. You know, and they'll think, that will just work out, you know. We'll just copy and paste what the other one does. And all will be fine. You know, and that's the problem with modern gaming, you know. It's that what they also just all want, you know. They just go for the quick money, and they think that's gonna work out. We just go for the quick money, for the quick bucks, and they all just assume that also everybody has just all the time in the world to be like hours and hours and hours and days, you know. That's also what I mean with like not having the notion that there's the market is so saturated. There's so many of these kinds of games, you know, and people have just a limited amount of time, you know, and they just expect that everybody first of all is going to spend a lot of money and time in those games, you know, forgetting the fact that people have a limited amount of time to spare, you know, and the market is so oversaturated with these kinds of live service games, you know, that and this is why also the video game market is literally you know, imploding, you know. They spend way too much, the budgets are way too exaggerated, so, and also the time that they spend in it, you know, you get now games that are being made for a market with a market strategy, you know, of we'll make a game, but it's gonna take us actually just 7 to 10 years to make that game, you know, because of the graphics and all the production and everything in it, you know, and then what you get is a game that was made for a certain market and a certain time period, you know, but once the game comes out, you know, everything has already changed in the market, you know. You know, and that's also a little bit of a problem, you know. They're going so hardcore in the graphics and stuff, you know, that the games, literally have games that take 7 or 10 years to make, you know. And then they want to chase a certain trend, you know, but once the game comes out, the whole trend has already changed, you know. The culture have changed, the trends have changed, you know, so, and this is also a problem, you know, and I remember also that a decade ago or two, you had every year a new Battlefield coming out, you know. Now it's every 5 years or 3 years, and some games it's even 7 or 10 years that they get a new game out, you know. So you get there that kind of a problem also, you know, of too long development times, you know. And then within that chasing trends, you know, that's a little bit difficult if you spend so much time in developing a video game, all because the graphics need to be so superior, and you need to spend hundreds of millions, you know, in creating a video game, you know. That's the problem, you know. So many games, when they come out, they are following trends of a decade ago, or of 7 years ago, or 5 years ago. Look how much the world changes in a period of time like that, and especially cultural, you know. And if you look in video games, you know, and I'm not talking about graphical improvement. I just talk about, you know, look at a good example of that was battle royales. They were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They were so popular. Today already not so much, you know. Not the way they used to be 5 years ago, you know. You know, actually the battle royales are now a little bit are a little bit on their way out, you know. But 5 or 10 years ago, the battle royales, you know, look at the Overwatches and PUBGs and all that kind of stuff, you know. That was highly popular. Today already not so much, you know. I'm not saying that it's not still a lot played, you know, but it doesn't have the popularity that it had 5 years ago, you know, or and especially not 10 years ago, you know. And that's the problem with chasing trends and taking so long to develop video games, and also being so worried always about the graphics, but not really worried about other kinds of things and the thing of trend chasing, you know. Anyway, enough of my talking. This was a little bit Battlefield 1 on the FX8300 AMD CPU, 8-core, AMD Firepro W600 with 2 GB of GDDR5, overclocked to 850 and 4400 on the memory, 32 GB of RAM and an SSD. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.